Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović took part in a thematic session of the UN Security Council in New York, which presented a final analysis of the work of the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia. The president of the tribunal said verdicts were always against individuals and not any one nation or country. This was a point that was stressed when the Croatian president met yesterday with the UN Security General Antonio Guterres.
And we have done exactly that. Render justice by prosecuting and adjudicating crimes committed by individuals. And I repeat, individuals, not peoples, not countries, not governments. And we have done this in an impartial, independent and effective manner.
It has been said that the tribunal has not achieved reconciliation in the former Yugoslavia. It is hard to disagree. As we have seen over the last 2 weeks, the crimes have left wounds that still have not healed. Convicted war criminals continue to be seen by many as heroes, while victims and survivors are ignored and dismissed. Difficult facts continue to meet outright denial or rebuttals pointing to the crimes of others. So the question is why reconciliation remains a significant challenge today. Well, the reality is that there is still no true will within the region to accept the immense wrongdoings of the past and move forward, sadly most of all among members of the political leadership.
The Croatian president confirmed that Croatia accepted the overall work of the tribunal.
Croatia fully supports the work of the ICTY and respects all of its judgments, even if it may on occasion express its disagreement with certain aspects of the tribunal's work. It has to be said in the final analysis that in more than 10,000 days of its duration, the ICTY spent too much time on procedural and status-related matters and not enough on providing the victims with a true sense of justice. We have stated in this chamber on many occasions that justice delayed is justice denied. On far too many occasions, justice came too late or not at all.
The president commented on last week's rulings in the Prlić et al. Case, underlining that the ICTY mandate was to establish individual criminal responsibility for committed criminal acts and to prosecute concrete individuals for concrete deals. No more, no less.
Consequently, we reject interpretations of the ICTY's recent judgment in the Prlić et al. Case, and let me add, overshadowed by the tragic death of General Praljak, that it was Croatian leadership at the time, or the Croatian nation, that were indicted or found guilty in front of the ICTY. The ICTY was dealing with the individual defendants who were before the tribunal and who were parties to the proceedings. Any interpretation of this judgment outside of the legal framework and the absence of explicit findings necessary to establish criminal responsibility of Croatia or its leadership is misleading and erroneous.
Prime Minister Andrej Plenković also repeated earlier today that Croatia respected last week's verdict for the 6 Bosnian Croats, but rejected certain aspects of the ruling, specifically those alluding to the responsibility of the Croatian government.
With regard to respecting the ruling, as a responsible member of the United Nations and the international community, we have no dilemma. But we have been clear that we are unhappy with certain segments and qualifications in the verdict, and in that respect, we have not wavered.
Meanwhile, Justice Minister Dražen Bošnjaković has formed a working group of legal experts to analyze the verdict. The minister is seeking a formal explanation from the president of the Hague Tribunal and permission from Dutch authorities to participate in the investigation into how General Praljak obtained the cyanide he used in his dramatic courtroom suicide last week. The minister also commented on the remaining legal options.
On se podnosi onda ako neki
There is one legal solution called a request to renew proceedings. It comes into play if some evidence was not admitted during the initial trial, for whatever reason. And this is very important because that evidence could point to certain facts that could result in a very different outcome. If that opportunity arises, it's up to the defendants and their lawyers to decide if that's something they would like to pursue.
In commemoration of St. Nicholas Day, the patron saint of sailors, Prime Minister Andrej Plenković and the Minister of the Sea, Transport and Infrastructure, Oleg Butković, attended events dedicated to maritime affairs. The government announced improvements to the Maritime Domain and Seaports Act, as well as a major boost in funding.
This is a very important sector for Croatia. We will improve the legal framework with amendments to the Maritime Code, including laws governing port authorities as well as the Maritime Domain and Seaports Act. This will be a major part of our legislative activities for the next year. Around €113 million in budgetary funds earmarked for the maritime sector speaks volumes about how important this is to us. The greatest challenge for our ministry is the Maritime Domain and Seaports Act. We will have that document completed soon, and then we will open it up for public debate. We anticipate an active role for city mayors and county prefects in this regard, because this will have a direct impact on the maritime sector.
Minister Butković rejected speculation that the tender for the construction of the Pelješac Bridge has been blocked due to a complaint filed by a mysterious consulting firm based in Zagreb. The minister did confirm, however, that the company has managed to prolong the tender for the monitoring of the construction, but not the construction itself.
This is the second time that we have a complaint filed by a company that has no registered employees and only 10 kuna in base capital. I have to admit that I find this slightly suspicious. At the same time, the Pelješac Bridge will be built, come hell or high water. I've said this before, but nothing will stop us, neither internal nor external factors.
Taking a quick look at sports, Rijeka hosts AC Milan tomorrow in the return game of their Group D matchup of the UEFA Europa League. Unfortunately, the Croatian League champs have just 4 points and have already been eliminated from advancing to the knockout phase. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. on HRT2 for full game coverage. The weather forecast for tomorrow calls for sunny skies with scattered clouds in most regions of the country. More clouds are expected along the northern coast and higher elevations, increasing the possibility of light rain. Parts of the continent will get morning fog, especially along the Sava and Danube rivers. The northern Adriatic coast will get a moderate to strong southwesterly wind that will gain strength throughout the day. Morning lows of between -5 and 0 inland and 4 to 9 degrees on the coast will give way to highs of between 7 and 12 inland and 11 to 16 degrees Celsius on the coast. Continental regions will be slightly warmer on Friday with a moderate to strong southwesterly wind. Clouds will move in from the west, bringing rain to most regions. Temperatures will once again drop on Saturday with a northerly wind, bringing sleet and snow, especially in the mountains and the far east. The Adriatic coast looks to be mostly cloudy on Friday and Saturday. Rain showers and thunderstorms on Friday in the north will move down to Dalmatia on Saturday. A moderate to strong southwesterly and southeasterly wind will switch to a northeasterly wind on Saturday. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow night.